With an injury update and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Explaining why he is envious of Roman Reigns, Logan Paul said on his Impulsive podcast, "I'm envious of guys like Roman Reigns who don't have to risk their entire body and health and wellness because people are so invested in their story. It's such a good note, that's a veteran note, but that's the hardest part. How can you tell that story to get people invested in who you are?" Pro wrestling legend Sting took to X recently to call attention to someone in need, writing, "Mike Kelly was one of the WCW and TNA security guys who had our backs through all the airports, hotels, arenas. He has just gone through a liver transplant if you would like to help." The GoFundMe reads, "Please help the Kelly family, dedicated to decades of selflessly serving both NYPD, retiring as detective, and his community as a volunteer in the Franklin Square and Munson Fire Department, rising up the ranks to captain of Engine Co. No. 1. Mike Kelly was a first responder on 9/11 under both capacities for 3+ months. Mike served on the executive board of the Community League of Garden City South, a civic that serves residents and merchants in Franklin Square School District number 17. He also served as first VP of the Sons of Italy America Lodge, number 22455 for 2 terms. First and foremost, Mike Kelly is a family man, married to his wife Marge for nearly 33 years. He's a proud dad of 2 sons, Michael Phillip and Christopher. Mike is an adoring grandpa of his 4-year-old grandson, Killian Caden. On December 27th, 2023, it was determined that Mike was in dire need of a life-sustaining liver transplant. He received 59 blood transfusions and was hospitalized 9 times, averaging 2 weeks per admission between December 27th, 2023 and June 23rd, 2024. Each time he received blood transfusions and procedures to stop internal bleeding. Still, through it all, his family and friends held a blood drive in his name to address the shortage of blood. 92 units replenished the NY blood banks. On July 12th, 2024, a donor match was found and Mike received a new liver at NYU Langone Kimmel Center in Manhattan. As Mike recovers, the bills are mounting. The unexpected expense for his family traveling to Manhattan to be with him daily added to the tally. Now, weekly follow-up visits in the city, tolls and parking, co-pays for lifelong anti-rejection medications, and the additional soon-to-start coming medical fees are anticipated anxieties of the Kelly family. Mike has given so much, and to give back to him would be amazing. No amount is too small to lessen the financial load. If you're unable to contribute, sharing this page is greatly appreciated. Prayers are always welcome and a huge plus for a full and complete recovery for Mike. Thank you." Talk about the help that CM Punk has provided during her time on NXT. Women's champion of the brand, Roxanne Perez, told Stephanie Chase, "I grew up watching him. I grew up wanting to be where he was. So now being able to be under his learning tree, he's just so awesome. I feel like he doesn't have to do everything that he does. He will literally just drop by the NXT pay-per-views. He was there at Las Vegas Battleground just to watch all of our matches. So it's really cool for him to go out of his way to do that and help us out and see if we need any critiques or any advice or anything. He's always there." Recapping the situation with a biopic that revolves around the story of Gawker leaking Hulk Hogan's sex tape, Ringside News said that WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan's monumental impact on professional wrestling is about to be revisited in a whole new way. A biopic titled Killing Gawker has been announced, aiming to dramatize Hogan's infamous legal battle with the media company Gawker. However, the project has already sparked controversy, with rumors swirling that Hogan might take legal action against the film's producers, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, if the movie crosses certain boundaries. To recap, Hogan's legal showdown with Gawker began in 2013 when he sued the company for publishing excerpts of a private tape. The high-profile case, which took 3 years to resolve, not only targeted Gawker but also involved its employees and affiliates. The leaked tape also included racist remarks made by Hogan, leading to WWE severing ties with the wrestling icon. Ultimately, the jury ruled in Hogan's favor, awarding him more than $120 million in damages and effectively bankrupting Gawker. Gus Van Sant, the acclaimed director known for films like Good Will Hunting and Milk, has been tapped to helm Killing Gawker. The biopic will delve into the details of Hogan's lawsuit and the ensuing fallout. In a casting twist, Ben Affleck is set to portray Hulk Hogan, while Matt Damon will play Peter Thiel, the tech billionaire who famously funded Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker. According to TMZ, sources close to Hogan have revealed that while the wrestling legend isn't involved in the project and feels indifferent about it, he is ready to take legal action if the film infringes on aspects of his life that are protected by privacy rights. Hogan has a history of aggressively defending his privacy in court, so this isn't an idle threat. Currently, Hogan is in a positive phase of his life. He's happily remarried, focusing on his spiritual growth and dividing into new business ventures, including a beer brand. He's also active in charitable work, particularly supporting a homeless shelter in Tampa to improve the quality of life for its residents. Hogan has yet to communicate directly with Matt Damon or Ben Affleck regarding the film, so he's waiting to see how the project unfolds. But if he finds any part of the biopic objectionable, he seems more than willing to take legal action. Asked about her frequent absence from recent WWE Premium Live event posters, such as the one for WrestleMania 40, Bayley said this to Ring the Bell. "I don't know what it is. I've tried my best. I've worn better outfits. I've begged on my knees. I've cried. I'm just kidding. I don't know what it is, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm over it." It appears that there will be changes seen from the commentary teams in WWE, with Ringside News writing that it was reported that WWE and Netflix confirmed their huge deal to move Monday Night Raw to the streaming service, which will begin in January 2025. The reported deal, valued at over $5 billion for a duration of 10 years, shocked fans all over the world. During the SummerSlam pre-show, it was announced that ESPN's Joe Tessitore will make his WWE commentary debut on the September 2nd edition of Monday Night Raw, with Michael Cole transitioning to Friday Night SmackDown. However, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, this arrangement is only temporary. Michael Cole is set to return to Monday Night Raw when the show moves to Netflix in the new year, while Joe Tessitore will shift to SmackDown. There has been no update on the future brands for Pat McAfee, Corey Graves, and Wade Barrett as of September 2nd or for the new year. Touching on his retirement tour set for next year, John Cena told TalkSport this about possibly wrestling in the United Kingdom. "I really hope so. As you know, I'm retiring from in-ring performing next year and will start in January and will do our last match in December 2025. I really hope there are some UK dates involved in that farewell. I meant what I said. And I said the same thing in Canada. The UK and Canada have been such strong supporters of the WWE through thick and thin. I campaigned for WrestleMania to be located in London because I think London has absolutely earned the right to host the grandest stage of them all. Nick Khan and Triple H were just there talking to the mayor of London. Hopefully, I don't know, things work out and maybe WrestleMania in London in the future. It's not going to happen in 2025, so unfortunately I won't have a match there, but if it does, I will absolutely be there as a fan." With him having been out of action due to injury since March of 2022, Big E said this about his health to Chris Vanini. "Now we're at 2 years and running since I broke my neck. I broke my C1 in 2 places, my C6 as well. I feel great. I have no issues with pain, no issues with discomfort, weakness, any of those things. My strength is not great. The only issue is my C1 is healing fibrously, which is great for normal day-to-day life, but it's not turning into new bone and ossifying yet. They're not going to clear me until that happens. It's obviously a very important bone. Right now, that is the waiting game. I did go to Cancun about a month ago for stem cells. We'll see if that changes anything. Right now, I feel great. I'm just not in a position to be cleared quite yet." For information on what is to come for the 6th season of Dark Side of the Ring, Ringside News wrote that, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the production for Season 6 began last month. And while details are still under wraps, there are some intriguing hints about what's to come. Johnson mentioned that while there aren't any major updates yet, interviews are currently being arranged on various topics. One notable name planned to be featured is Billy Jack Haynes, a former wrestler known for his tumultuous career and outspoken nature. In addition, there have been discussions about including segments on Dennis Coralluzzo, a key figure in the independent wrestling scene, and Ludwig Borga, a controversial wrestler from the early 90s. However, it remains unclear whether work has officially begun on these subjects. Talking about his learning tree gimmick and faction of the same name in AEW, Chris Jericho said this to Sports Illustrated. "I'm a big proponent of letting the story lead you, not the other way around. That allows me to evolve. The whole learning tree is taking negativity from social media and getting a reaction out of it. That's what wrestling is all about, getting people to react to what you're doing. There's a serious side too. Look at the vicious beatdowns we've given Samoa Joe and Hook and Shibata. It's something I made a career out of, and it's one of the reasons I've been doing it for so long at the highest of levels, which makes some people mad. This is what I do. I've never wanted to be a nostalgia act. I've never wanted to rest on my laurels. I've also never been afraid to take chances and do something different, and that's what we're doing right now. I think Big Bill is great. I loved him as Cass, and I wanted to work with him. Tony Khan suggested Brian Keith, and the Bad Apple character was born. The chemistry is great, and we're putting a spotlight on something new, and that gives us some great stories to tell. I've been accused of burying young talent. Even go back to my last run in WWE, I was working with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. I wanted to give them another way to learn, and I learned from them too. That's all I've done in AEW, working early on with Hangman and Darby and Scorpio Sky and Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy and MJF, who became a smarter and better wrestler. This is what I love to do. If I listened to people tell me I couldn't do something, I wouldn't have joined wrestling school at 19. I've been hearing my whole life what I couldn't do, but it's led to people enjoying and appreciating what I do. I want to continue doing this for them." As Seth Rollins was seemingly written off television on Raw after being attacked by Bronson Reed, details were provided on this, with Dave Meltzer saying this in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Rollins is cleared but is still banged up and is trying to get in the best physical condition. His issues are chronic, but not at the point to getting flagged. He's trying to stay ahead of the things, so will be taking a little time off. We're not sure if he'll be back for the pay-per-view or not, but if he is, it would now seem to be with Reed and not with Punk, which makes the Punk finish even more just a way to get out of a match and having Punk lose, although they no doubt will get to Punk versus Rollins at some point. In some unfortunate news, the wrestling world has lost a legend, with Mike Johnson writing that PWInsider.com has had to report the passing of one of professional wrestling's all-time great villains and one of the most successful bookers of all time during his WCW run, Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan, who had been dealing with a number of health issues in recent months, was 74 years old. This is a developing story. We will have more details and a look at Sullivan's career ASAP. Our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and fans of Kevin Sullivan. Those in the pro wrestling world reacted to this news, with WWE writing, "WWE is saddened to learn that Kevin Sullivan has passed away. We extend our condolences to Kevin's family, friends, and fans." Triple H wrote, "Kevin Sullivan had one of the most unique minds in the history of our industry, pushing creative boundaries and developing some of the most intriguing characters to step into the ring. He had an unwavering passion for what we do. My thoughts are with his family, friends, and fans." Mark Henry said, "Prayers out to the family. Rest in peace." QT Marshall wrote, "I've had the pleasure of working with Kevin Sullivan. I had the honor of him sitting in for one of my seminars. We shared a lot of the same ideologies on wrestling. He was always a class act. Condolences to him and his family." Bill DeMott said, "Waking up to the news that Kevin Sullivan has passed away without him taking a chance on me, there would have been Hugh Morris. Thank you, Shorty. See you down the road." Enzo Amore wrote, "Rest in peace, Taskmaster." Lexus King said, "I respect you, Booker Man. Rest in peace." Diamond Dallas Page wrote this, "Just heard that Kevin Sullivan has passed away. way. His passing really hurts my heart. I recently was talking to Ric Flair, who told me that Sully wasn't doing well and I should call him. I immediately called him and I talked about it on an interview I did with Cody Rhodes. Here's the clip of me talking about that interaction. This one hit me really hard. Sully was a huge part of my life. Yes, we had our ups and the downs, but like so many of our brothers over the years, we really grew to love each other. I'm so glad I got to talk to him before he left this planet. Thanks, Ric Flair. You not believing in me initially made me better. It made me work harder, and I'm so thankful to have known you. You did so many great things, and I'm so proud to have been a part of some of them. God bless you. Love you, brother. Rest in peace. And here's that clip DDP included in the post.
Kevin Sullivan, he was doing. I called Flair, and
Yeah.
I was telling him something about something that I heard was good for him, and he said, "Hey," he goes, Sully's not in a good spot. He goes, "You should call him." And Sully and I did a lot of this when we were working together. But after you get done with that, you come together like real family. And I love Kevin Sullivan. But even when I got there, and Gomez, do you know Joe Gomez? Joe Gomez, one of the best human beings alive. I love Joe Gomez. And Gomez was there with Kev. And I said, "Can you put the phone up to him?" And I said, "Hey, Kev, I just want you to know I love you." I said, "I know there was times we bumped heads and we got mad as hell at each other, man, but it made me better. And I know you didn't believe in it, but I just want you to know when you finally did it meant everything."
Yeah.
And then friggin' Gomez told me he pulled his trach out and he talked to me.
Oh man.
It was like, "I didn't think you were gonna do it, Diamond, but you did, and you pushed." And I mean, it made me cry, like legit, like.
That's a really a feeling I wouldn't fully. I'm so interested in it because when people don't believe in you, or when people go against you, the chip on the shoulder and the urge to fight it is so there. And then I feel like when you get there, you feel differently about them than you think you would have. Like you feel there's a different, and they don't have to say to you, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't." But like, there's an understanding in that, hey, you didn't, but hey, that's just a crazy feeling to me.
All Elite Wrestling wrote AEW in the wrestling world mourn the passing of the legendary Kevin Sullivan. Our thoughts are with his family, his friends, and his fans. Eric Bischoff said, "Woke up to the news of Kevin Sullivan's passing. This one hits hard. Last time we spoke, we talked about taking a fishing trip. Kevin loved the water. Kevin was talented, loyal, and had instincts that made him a valuable partner. I will miss him. Respect always, Booker, man." Ric Flair wrote, "I am so saddened to hear about Kevin Sullivan's passing. Rest in peace, Kevin. You were an all-time great athlete and friend." And Adam Pearce said, "Godspeed, Kevin Sullivan. Whether in front of or behind the camera, your contributions to our industry are without question. Grateful for the times we shared, your advice and kindness. Honored to have gone into the NWA Hall of Fame together. Rest well, sir." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.